Rev up your engine. All right, today I've got a Camry from Canada showing you how Toyota can rip people off by time versus mileage. Now, he's got 130,000 miles on it now, and he likes the car, but when he only had 60,000 something miles on it, the intermediate shaft went out on the steering. If you look under the hood, he had to have the intermediate shaft replaced because it was clunky. Now, since he drives it a lot, sometimes Uber, sometimes other things, he had to pay 955 Canadian dollars, because he's in Canada, to have the intermediate shaft replaced. Now, the car was only a couple of years old, so it was still under warranty for that. But he had too much mileage because he drives it all over the place. You can see it's a 2020 and he's already got 130,748 miles on it. He went from miles to kilometers. He changed that. Now, Toyota is well aware that the centerpiece in the steering has problems, right? But they said, oh, you're out of the warranty because you drove too many miles, even though it was only 2 years old. He loves the car otherwise. Has a nice screen, puts on little star action here. Now, this is a hybrid. So when you start it up, you're not hearing any noise. Now, being a hybrid, he averages like 46 miles a gallon, this thing. And he's had no problems with that. Overall, he's real happy with the car. But, I mean, he had to pay 955 bucks for a part that Toyota really should have replaced for free. Now, he likes Camry. This is his third Camry. And you might say, 3 Camrys. How come he keeps changing them? Well, he drives so many miles into things, he has to. Eventually, things will wear out. He didn't personally feel secure with a car once it had more than 350,000 miles. So the other 2 he sold on to people, but he sold them on to people that would get more than 500,000 miles out of them. So, yeah, they last a long time. So, what is up with Toyota denying the guy's claim, even though the car was 2 years old, because it had more than the warranty mileage allowed? I don't think that's a fair deal, Toyota. I mean, you should look at this one over again. Now, I do understand that the dealerships are independently owned. They're not part of Toyota. They just pay for the right to sell Toyotas to the Toyota Motor Company. They got a license for it, right? But the Toyota Motor Company, I think you should give this guy his money back. He's a virtual advertisement how great your cars are, yet you didn't fix that thing free. That's a known problem, that the steering clunks when you turn it because those center parts wear out. They also do it on a lot of the Sienna vans when they have a lot higher mileage. Now, the Siennas that I saw with those breaking down, some of those had 180, 200,000 miles. I can understand, but a car that's only got like 60,000 miles on it, they should certainly warranty. I mean, the thing was only 2 years old when it went out. 4-cylinder engine, very dependable. The hybrid system, sold millions of them. They work quite well. This one now is 130-something thousand miles. It's still got the original hybrid battery. That works perfectly fine. The engine doesn't burn any oil. Now, you might wonder why he has these crappy rims. Here's my old Matrix. Nice. Oh, look at those crappy rims. He's got them all over the place. Why? He's got his winter tires on this. He lives in parts of Ontario where it snows a lot. So he keeps the snow tires on, the cheap steel rims. Who cares? He didn't put hubcaps on them, if you notice. He's got his snow tires on. He's not going to get stuck anywhere. Now, this isn't 4-wheel drive. It's a 2-wheel drive vehicle. He decided to put all 4. I would have just put them on the front, but he wants to be safe for cornering, so he's got those ugly old rims that he got in a junkyard. But you might as well go to a junkyard and get used rims, stick your snow tires on them, and then you can do it yourself, not have to waste any money balancing, taking them off. That's going to cost you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars over the years. So you might as well buy a used rim, put snow tires on. Now, he loves the car. He's bought a whole bunch of them. And he said in Canada, where he is, taxi cab drivers, they're driving Camrys, and a lot of them are driving the hybrids because you might think it's bad here. Gasoline is even more expensive in Canada. They tax the heck out of it. My father used to have a gas station on the Canadian border in Lewiston, New York. Canadians used to come here all the time and fill their cars up when they were on a holiday, or even if they weren't, to save a whole bunch of money. The whole thing is kind of hilarious when you think of it, because I had a Ford Maverick, right? I bought it in the United States. It was made in Oakville, Ontario, And the Canadians paid thousands of dollars more for that same car that I had in the United States because they taxed them more there. It was made in Oakville by Canadians. Drove the heck out of that car, but I got it much cheaper than what the Canadians paid for in their own country where it was built. Look at this horrible seat. Well, that's just the seat cover. He didn't want to wear out the beautiful seats, so he put the seat cover on and it's all worn out. Yeah. Now, like I say, this is a hybrid, so you don't hear anything yet, but I lie. Listen, you can hear the noise it makes because it has to. The law says it has to make a sound when in electric mode. There it is, humming away. Now, as with most hybrids, people want to get great gas mileage. You can put in various modes. Eco mode, normal, sport. If you just drive an eco, of course, you get the best gas mileage. Now, I do have to say, he went a little overkill with the air fresheners. There they are, a whole row of them. Well, I'll put it in sport mode here, and let's see what's going to do. Here we go. Not a race car, but hey, it gets the pickup and going, especially once you start moving. And it doesn't like me because I went into the lane without putting my turn signal in. So the collision avoidance system beeps. Here we go again. It doesn't shake the wheel or anything, but it beeps to warn you. Even though it's pouring rain, you don't hear or feel anything because it's just sitting there, because it's a hybrid. Now see, this isn't like the auto on-off system. It's a hybrid. It's running on a hybrid system. And the car doesn't like me because I keep swerving over. There we go again. It doesn't like me. I'll tell you, if it was my car, I'd disconnect that too. But then my wife would probably connect it back. She always says I swerve too much anyway. We did turn it off right here. Aha, now it won't bother me. So there you have it, a 2020 Camry. It has power, it gets gas mileage. The only problem is, they didn't fix the car free when they should have. A known failure. They know that that intermediate shaft has problems, and they said, oh, you got too many miles. So I'm throwing the gauntlet out to Toyota of Canada now. Please, give this guy his money back. He loves the car. He is a driving, walking advertisement for you guys, saying you make great Camrys. He's owned a bunch of them. But for that $995, I think you should give him his money back, and anybody else that has those intermediate shafts break, because you know it's a problem. And don't hide under, oh, it has too many miles on it. No, fix it, please. And I'm following up on this too. And here's some bonus questions and answers. You really can't believe it, but it actually happened. This guy in Oklahoma had to cancel his road trip because Starbucks charged him and his wife $4,456 for 2 cups of coffee. He's in Oklahoma. This guy, Jesse Odell, goes with his wife, gets a couple cups of coffee to go. He just goes away. He doesn't look at the receipt at all, right? Then later, his wife, they're getting ready to go on a road trip, tries to charge something, and it was refused. They said, no, you don't have any money. He looks at his receipt. It says he bought 2 cups of coffee for $10 something, but then he left like a $4,400 tip. For tip, it said $4,400. And the hilarious thing is, he had to cancel his trip because Starbucks sent him a check, but it bounced. You think they could have reversed the charges, but they sent him a check and it bounced. And they said, oh, we're sorry, it bounced because we typed the check wrong, so it wasn't a legal check, right? Then he finally got his money back, but, I mean, can you imagine? $4,400 for 2 cups of Starbucks coffee. I mean, everybody knows they overcharge for their coffee, but $4,400 for 2 cups of coffee. That's got to be some kind of new record, yeah? But it ruined his trip. Yeah, I'm surprised that they couldn't just automatically reverse the charge. That doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, anybody can see you're not tipping somebody $4,400 for 2 cups of coffee, you know? Even John D. Rockefeller wouldn't have done that. He just threw bags of dimes at people, right? So, the moral of this story is, read your receipts before you leave the store. I remember every time I get takeout, my wife says, make sure you check what's in the bag because they screw up half the time. Well, I'm always so lazy I don't, and half the time they screw up and she gets mad at me. So from now on, I look in the bag to see what's in there. So read your receipts when you buy something, especially if you're going on a trip soon. You don't want your trip ruined because you don't have any money on your credit card because some company screwed up and charged you $4,400 for 2 cups of coffee. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.